So frankly, I'm a D-rater in PMS system, and that's why I've been kept on the last. But it was lovely to listen to Mr. Nigam, Mr. Bose, and Prita, my fellow earlier speakers. So the topic for this is new competencies to steer growth agenda. And mind you, I will not be talking too much about HR because I feel that HR, that's our job that we are supposed to do and that we should do. If we are not doing that well, then probably we are not doing our duties. So I'll be very, very sharp and very, very pointed. So I'll be talking about 6 competencies or 6 attributes or 6 qualities which probably we should have. The first is the HR people, the human resource people are full of humble resources. I feel that HR should not be so humble because we are always in an order-taking mode. We are always from doorman to chairman, from peon to president has an opinion about HR. People don't have opinion about finance, people don't have opinion about marketing, people don't have opinion about supply chain, but everybody has opinion about HR. So I think from humbleness, we need to move to a little bit of assertiveness. You can be humble after you become CEO, but to become a CEO, you don't need to be humble. You need to be a little assertive, you need to be a little aggressive. The second is we have been tagged as a support function. We don't need to be support function. We need to be directly contributing to the top line of the organization. Unless we contribute to the top line of the organization, we would not be respected. So I feel that to steer the growth agenda of future, HR need to have competency to contribute to the growth agenda. And I'll be talking about 2-3 points and some initiative which we are doing, not from the perspective of showing off, but from the perspective of seeding you some idea what could be the possible way through which we can contribute to the top line of the business. The first is when companies are in trouble, even smallest of the contribution by HR in terms of top line contribution is going to be very, very important. So how can we do it? I have 3 suggestions which probably we have implemented and some we would like to share with you. The first, support the existing business. Whatever business our company is in, HR team need to have the capability so that they are able to contribute to the direct business of that organization. Number 2, you need to incubate, you need to create a culture in that organization, and you need to have in your team, whether through design thinking, or there are many mechanisms which is there, through which you are able to incubate new business directly. Those businesses who can become larger business in future. And I can share some example, like people talk about data, and we have been doing certain project on data analytics, or real-time engagement, or predictive attrition. These are models which we have prepared, and I'll be very happy to share with any one of you who would want to experiment that, use that free of cost. So that is the second model which probably you can work on. The second is we are in distribution segment, and distribution segment we are doing reasonably well, and all organizations have certain strengths. Those strengths can be bundled together and offered to other companies in your industry. That is, a value addition can be done at a cost. The third is create HR as a new revenue generating function. So for example, I'll give you 3 examples. Like, we are in distribution sector, we have certain policies, we have certain processes, we have done some wonderful job. Whatever kind of job we have done, we may not be the best in the world, but whatever job we have done, that is good enough for many, many organizations in India and outside India. And through 2 methods, which is called leadership center, which we call it Centipede, and a technical center, which is called DOSEC, we have taken out to the world. And currently we are supporting close to about 22 states and about 10 countries outside India at a cost, and we are generating revenue. So what I mean to say that the HR need to contribute to the top line business. 3 things which we can do. 1, contribute directly to the current business. Second is incubate business, and third is create HR as a revenue generating functions. The third point, the third competency which I feel we need to have is to create a culture of innovation. Now, innovation, I don't mean by the typical innovation which is there. Some of the examples probably we can share is that we are too obsessed with best practices and what top organizations are doing, especially in US and UK, what foreign organizations are doing. That will not work. Because our sector is different, so we don't have to get obsessed with the best approach. For example, in talent acquisition, now the things have changed. We talk about, like you talked about, millennials. Now, company like us, we still depend on a job portals or LinkedIn for hiring. Now, these millennials are not available on LinkedIn or job portals. You need to go to Instagram, you need to go to TikTok to source the talent. So those innovations need to be there. We have large number of contract workforce. Like a lot of people are there from manufacturing sector, so we have large number of contract workforce. Now, are we spotting those talent? Do we have any progression path for them to take them into company role? These are some innovations which we need to do in the organization. For example, learning and development. Still, people like us, I would take me also. HR is throttling down the learning and development initiative on the neck of the employees. Now from the organizational centric learning and development approach, we need to move to what employee wants. So these are some innovations need to be there. We have created a small thing which is called Project Marketplace to build certain competencies. So those are some innovations which we can talk about. Employee engagement, I think Mr. Nigam talked about employee engagement. Now, in this last 20 months, we have seen that employee engagement has flopped. If we have to engage the employee, we have to engage the family members. We have to engage the spouse, we have to engage their parents, we have to engage their kids. Unless we move from employee engagement to family engagement, unless we move from employee engagement to family engagement as part of innovation in HR, the whole engagement model, in my opinion, is not going to be successful. Compensation, we are still maintaining the same compensation structure. We have the same structure for the CEO also, and we have the same structure for the GET also. Whereas the GET's requirement is different. GET wants more money at the end of the month. He wants to go to Ambience Mall and spend money. Whereas the older people in the organization want to save more money. Why can't we have more compensation structure and give the employee what they want? So this is the third thing, the competency which I think as a HR we need to build to drive the growth agenda. The fourth is smart use of data analytics and digitization. Now here also you would see that we are all chasing what the IT organization is doing. We all are into different sectors. So in my opinion, we should consider two segments. One is what segment are we into? What is good for a manufacturing company is not good for a distribution company, is not good for an IT company. What as a startup, the technology which he can adopt, I cannot adopt, because we have a different set of employee in our organization. As it is being said that there are three kind of organization in any organization. One is the digital native, people who is born after google.com. They are born and brought up. My daughter can run more better mobile phone than me. I cannot. So that is a different population which is there. The second is the digital migrant, people like me and Mr. Pandey, who are just trying to adopt to the technology which it is moving to. The third is the digital native, people who are maybe 45 years and above, 50 years and above. They are adopting to the technology, but they can never adopt to the technology like the younger generation is doing. So what we need to do, I personally feel what we need to do is we need to understand what kind of demographic of people we have, and then bring in the technology. If I try to bring the technology which Facebook is using, or probably a IT company is using in my company, the adoption would be a flop. So we need to see what kind of population demographic we have. We need to see what kind of sector we are, what kind of sector we are in, and then adopt the technology. Similarly, it all need to be have what we are trying to do. We don't have to be a slave of technology. We have to adopt technology through which we are able to create personalized experience for employee. It irritates everybody if you call as a mobile operator and you have to press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and after 10 minutes you are not able to get the service. That will not work, in my opinion, in HR. People want to talk to people. If somebody is calling for his problem, for his compensation, his salary has not come or leave has not been credited, he want to talk to the problem and he want the solution immediately. He doesn't want to wait for a chatbot. With due respect to those companies who have adopted chatbot, we also have done. But how far and for whom the technology is being adopted is extremely, extremely critical. It needs to create the personalized experience. The fifth one which I want to share with you is that HR should never lose the human part of HR. We are known because we are able to connect. An employee come in an organization with his hand, with his head, and with his heart. We are addressing the employee's needs through productivity or through various tools to what the employee is coming with the hand and the head. But we are not able to employ emotional being also. He is coming with his emotions also. Emotion of his family members, what is happening in his family, what has happened with his spouses. Those emotions needs to be catered to those organizations, and that competency, in my opinion, should HR have. And the final one which I want to share is that we need to be simple, and we need to create simple. Unfortunately, there are many organizations which has PMS process or that process, which even it is very difficult for even the newer HR guys to understand. So we need to be simple, communicate simple, and create simple policies, processes, and programs. So these are 6-7 competencies which I think as a HR professional we must have to drive the growth agenda of future. Thank you very much.